What's up, bitches? Welcome to Bitches Be Cray. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Nancy. And guess what, bitches? We have a whole year today.
Yeah, it was a year ago that we recorded the first episode of season 1, and here we are for season 2.
I feel like I wish that, I had when you have so many expectations, and when we do it next year, I'm going to be like this and that. No, I'm worse.
You're worse? You mean your stuff in your life?
Yeah.
I thought you meant like you had in your mind this big old production of
No. This is actually better than I feel like our podcast has turned out really well. I just thought that I had the goal of my weight loss. I had all these things that I wanted. I was starting things. I thought I would be telling a different story in a year. I guess that's life, I didn't think that I would be like, oh, here I am, worse than ever.
Well, what is it they say? Make plans and if you make plans, God laughs, basically.
Hardcore. I honestly feel like from here to January, I don't even feel like the same person anymore. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't even know who I am. I'm not trying to be depressing, guys. I genuinely don't know who I am.
Well, I mean, during each season of life, I feel like I have discovered new things about me, went through different challenges, came out a different person on the end. So maybe by the time this year wraps up, you'll be a better version of you.
I have a weird, irrational fear that no one in my life will like the new me.
Oh. Why? Because do you feel like based on some conversations we had earlier, which obviously I'm not going to say what they were when we were out on our little dinner date, but it's like maybe you've done too much and had too much on you and you're taking some steps back. Is that what you're thinking about? Or are you thinking something different? I'm thinking you're going to make people do more of their own stuff and you're going to stop taking care of people.
Oh, that would be great. No, I'm thinking that I'm just different. And that no one's going to like the new me. But I'm like, if everybody liked the shitty version of me. I just don't know. It's an irrational fear. I don't know. I just feel like a lot has happened this year and the whole year. I just thought we would be sitting here and I would be telling a different story. Mm-hmm. So I'm a little disappointed. But I'm not disappointed in our podcast. I love our podcast.
You just wish your life had taken a different turn this year, and instead you went down a different fork in the road, and it all circles back around eventually, though.
Yay! But we're going to talk about our travel experiences.
Yeah, we have different feelings about travel. I know we kind of teased that in our Bitches Be Back for a Second summer check-in, but
I want to apologize for that.
You want to apologize? Oh, yeah.
It was terrible. My voice sounds like I have a lisp. It sounds like I'm about to jump off a bridge. I sound so depressed. And Amanda thinks that there's some noise with her. I don't even know there's a noise because I sound so shitty on it. I sound like, okay.
Well, I think, normally when we do our episodes, we are in person. We have our mics set up. We have a space, all of that. For summer check-in, we literally had to do over the internet. There's an echo. There's a lag. So in the editing process, I had to use some AI features. I had to do some creative editing. And I think that can definitely add to, obviously, sound quality and how things sound.
Just want to let you guys know we're okay.
All right. So yeah, we are going to talk about our experiences with traveling and how we are on opposite sides of the coin for the most part about traveling.
100%, not for the most part.
I say for the most part because I like the idea of traveling. I love to plan a good travel trip, but then when it's time to go, I'm like, oh, I really don't want to go.
I feel that way.
You do?
I get scared. Mm-hmm. I think, but it all started happening when I had Renata, because I always have an irrational fear that what if I die, and then who the fuck is gonna take care of my baby?
So do you only feel that way if she is not going on a trip with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do, because I actually she hasn't gone on. I don't take my daughter on many trips because I feel like now I will, because I feel like she won't remember, and it's so fucking expensive. I'm not going to take her to Disney as a newborn. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, no, this time that I went to New York, I didn't feel that way. But every time I do travel without her, I always have an irrational fear that what if I die? And just because my dumbass wanted to go look at something, some dumbass rock somewhere, now I'm dead and my daughter doesn't have a mother. I do think that.
I mean, I think that's fair to feel that way. I'm sure a lot of parents feel that way, especially if you like are doing the majority of the raising of your child, right? When they're living with you full time, you're doing their school, you're doing everything, like, because obviously if something did happen, that would be a huge life shift for her, just her daily life. But of course, losing a parent is awful. So I can understand that fear.
But Amanda doesn't like traveling.
No. But we're going to go back in time a little bit and see, like, how did we get here? How has our experiences through life kind of set us up for how we feel about travel now? So, okay, let's talk about our first travel experiences. I don't know who traveled first in life. Maybe you probably probably you.
I was 6 years old.
Yes. So, I mean, I probably went on like a little camping weekend like down the street at 6 years old. So tell me like about.
It was terrible. The first time I ever went anywhere, I was 6 years old, and we rode a bus from my farm all the way to New York.
Oh, that seems very far. Very far.
Oh my God. I remember I had never been to the United States of America ever. And the food to me was so gross. Like, I hated ketchup. I hated hot dogs. I hated fries. You know, I did not have fries when I moved to this country until I was like almost in high school.
Wow.
Because I just remember the taste of fries from when I was a kid. It was just the worst experience of my life.
So when you say you didn't like the food, do you mean the food you had to eat like at random gas stations or whatever along the way? Or you mean like actually when you got
both
to New York, you're like, nah. Okay.
Both.
I'm sure it's very different.
I don't know if it was because I was already so fucking fucked up from the experience. Because we spent on the bus so many freaking days.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, when I was in Costa Rica, I did a lot of traveling by bus because, hello, I didn't have a car. And I mean, I would be on the bus for like hours or like almost a full day. And that was exhausting as like a young adult. So as a child, that must have been. And there was like, listen, I know there weren't any phones, any tablets, any fun stuff to do. You were like looking out the window or coloring or something.
And then I do remember that once I actually got to New York, I loved it. I spent my first Halloween ever in the United States of America. I had an ice cream cone. I remember it was winter, but I don't remember it being cold. Also, my very first crush lived there. So he punched my tooth out.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah. It was my one of my front teeth. That was that I can remember my very first time I ever left home or went anywhere. And I did love the being there, but I did not love the going there.
So why did you go? Why was it New York?
Because my sister, who is way older than me, she's old enough to be my mom. She actually has a child my age. Had not come home to see my mom. My mom I'd never met her.
Oh, wow.
That was the first time I've ever met her. So she hadn't seen my mom, and my mom hadn't seen her. So my mom just, I guess, couldn't take it anymore. So we went to visit her.
Okay.
That's why we went to New York.
Wow.
For the first time.
I mean, when I was young and we traveled, we always just took the car. I mean, given we were never really going anywhere that far. When I was younger and we took trips, we went to like Gatlinburg. Like,
you went to Gatlinburg when you were little?
Yeah, we went there. We went there a good few times. I've been there plenty of times. Like to Dollywood.
That wasn't fun?
Yeah, I loved Dollywood. I loved going. Yeah, I feel like Gatlinburg is really, really crowded now, though.
It is gross now.
So I don't go. But we also went to Disney World when I was 7. So my brother was 2. So kind of like what you were saying earlier, like, why did we go? I guess because, my brother and I have like almost a 5-year age gap. Like I was going to be I was going to be out of the age of caring before too long, and I really wanted to go. I'm surprised we went. But that was also the first time I'd been to the beach because we went to Daytona Beach like on the way. So I actually have a picture somewhere of all of us on the beach. But like when I was younger, I like slept with my parents. So we were like, I feel like these days I see stuff on TikTok all the time about co-sleeping. A lot of people are co-sleeping with their children.
I co-slept with my parents.
Yeah, but you don't co-sleep with your child. And I did not co-sleep with mine.
I didn't sleep. I don't co-sleep with Renata, but I kind of wish I would have.
Do you?
Not because I love it, but because I feel like the connection, and it might have been easier on me because I spent so many sleepless fucking nights trying to put her in that damn room. I have a California king. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, no, I wish that my parents would have. I feel like I had a lot of issues with, and still do, with sleep. And I think it's because when I was little, if I wasn't with my parents,
me too.
I was afraid. And so, I mean, it didn't help that I lived beside a graveyard. Not that it was, I mean, it wasn't like that bad for me because, you know, obviously you get used to it if it's your whole life.
Your playset was literally next to Tombstone. Okay.
But like at night, like during, I was like, whatever. But at night, it did seem a little sketch at night, you know? So, but I think I think honestly, my issues with travel, I think it all goes back to co-sleeping with my parents because like a lot of people that I know will tell stories about staying overnight with grandparents, right? Like, I'm going to stay at my grandparents' house. I never did that ever.
You literally were right there.
I know, but I had another set of grandparents I could have stayed with, but never. And my brother stayed with my grandparents sometimes, and those are my favorite days because I was like an only child again for a minute, and I love that.
You're psycho.
But my best friends were literally in my neighborhood. I could see their house from my porch, and I would like get really brave and be like, "Yeah, I can stay overnight. It's gonna be fine." And I would want to come home like every time. I did actually stay through the night sometimes, but it's like I didn't sleep when I was there because if I wasn't in my parents' room, like eventually I did have my own bed in my parents' room. Like I wasn't always in their bed, but if I wasn't in the room with them, I did not feel comfortable. So I think that just kind of went with me throughout life, like throughout school. When I made friends, like they stayed at my house. I did not want to stay at their house because I knew I wouldn't be able to sleep. It honestly was hard for me to sleep when they stayed with me because we would probably sleep in my room.
Let me tell you about how that is.
But
you can't even make a sound.
Yeah. But it's just, yeah. I think it all stems from that because the first time I stayed away from home for a long period of time, I was 13. I went to this church camp. I really wanted to go because my ex-boyfriend was there. So I'm like, oh, I want to go. Literally, like the same day we got there, before night came, we got to like make a phone call. And I was like, Mom, please come get me. And she's like, no. Like,
good for her.
You know, she had to pay obviously a decent amount of money for me to go for a week camp. And it was in Tennessee, so it wasn't like really far, but it wasn't like she could get there in a snap. And she's like, you're going to have to stay. But I just, by the end of the week, like I was okay. But those first few days, it was really rough for me. So let's talk about like our experiences with flying because you started flying a lot younger than me.
I started flying when I was 10 years old. The first time I ever went, because after I moved after that whole New York thing. You know, it's really weird. I used to think that I moved right after. It was 3 years later. There's 3 years missing from my life.
I mean, that's a lot.
That I don't remember. I don't remember from 6 to 9. What happened to that? Only the Lord knows. So I used to think in my imaginary world that right after I went to New York, the next October, we made travel to Georgia. And then one day I looked at the picture, it said 1996. So I was going to turn 7. And it wasn't until 3 years later that I moved here. And so we moved here. I also came on a bus. But then when I turned 10, my grandmother was having her 50th wedding anniversary. So my dad and I traveled on a plane to Mexico. Just my dad and I to go to the wedding. And that was my first time ever on a plane.
Okay, so it was to go
to Mexico.
To visit.
To visit.
For a wedding. Mm-hmm. Okay. My first time on a plane, I actually don't know my age. Probably, I'm going to guess 21. That's my guess. That sounds about right.
Where'd you go?
To Miami, so not very far. Just right a hop, skip down. I went because I was about to go on a cruise. And with my ex-boyfriend.
Oh, that with him? That was the first time?
Yeah. And he made a point to tell me on the flight that I would always remember my first flight was with him.
Ew.
Yeah. So I was really nervous about flying. I did not want to do it just because
I'm surprised you didn't pretend you were this big bag bitch in front of that dumb fuck.
He already knew I didn't want to fly.
Okay.
Like, he knew I didn't want to. I don't remember why we did. I guess just because, obviously it's easier, quicker. But, I mean, I think 9/11 traumatized me. Obviously, I know it traumatized a lot of people. But
what are the odds?
In terms of flying, like, my family didn't fly anywhere. Like, I didn't even really know anybody. I'd never had conversations with people in my family or with my friends about flying. Like, that was never brought up. So I had no real reference of flying. The first real thing I paid attention to with an airplane was 9/11. So yeah, that made me really not want to fly, because I'm like, anything can happen to you anywhere, and I don't like that.
It's funny that you say that, because that's the year my parents shipped me off to Mexico for 3 months.
Oh.
Literally right after 9/11, my parents put me on a plane and sent me to Mexico.
Oh, that's awful. That's pretty awful. But luckily, I am glad that my first plane ride was only like an hour-ish trip. So at least it was short. We flew there, we flew back, did that at least 2 more times, maybe 3 more. No, I think 2 more times. Yeah, 2 more times. So then I had flown 4 times in the course of a few years. And then the furthest I flew was to Costa Rica. That was like a 3.5.
So how many times have you been on a plane?
Like 8. The trip I took this summer, I had to fly. It was the first time I've flown since 2013, and I was not happy about it. I did fine. Like, I don't get there and freak out or anything. I actually had a whole session with my therapist on how am I going to get on the plane. And I mean, obviously I knew I was going to get on, but like, how was I going to make it through without being like an emotional wreck? And so we went over some strategies and stuff. And I mean, they did help, but I wanted to be off the plane the entire time. So there's that. That's always how it is. I just don't like flying. I know some people really enjoy flying, or they're just fine with it.
I don't give a fuck. I don't enjoy. My daughter does. My daughter loves it.
Yeah.
But I don't give a fuck either way. Like, I'm not like, ooh, but I'm not like, oh, I'm here.
I wish I didn't care, because obviously there's a lot of places I can drive to. But if I want to go far, like, it would take up, like, if I took time off work to go somewhere, it's going to take a bunch of time away just to get there and back. But I don't know. I feel better when I drive. I know people always talk about, actually, it's funny because on the cruise I went on, there was a comedian, and he was talking about how he was actually talking about plane travel versus car travel and how all the statistics show blah, blah, blah. He's like, but how many people have you talked to that have come away from a car crash? He's like, I bet you can name somebody. It might even be you yourself. He's like, how many people can you say you talked to came away from a plane crash? I'm like, exactly. I understand it's more likely, but it's less deadly.
Kourtney Kardashian's husband?
Yeah, but you don't know him.
Yeah, but we know that he survived it.
Yeah, but there's a handful of people that can walk away from a plane crash. You can walk away from a car crash.
I think my mentality is, if you're meant to die, you're going to die.
I think my mentality
the day that comes, it comes.
My mentality is, if the Lord wants me to be afraid, I'm afraid, and I ain't going for a reason, and that's what I'm going with.
If the Lord wants you to be afraid,
yeah,
the Lord doesn't want you to be afraid of anything.
If the universe is giving me signs that something doesn't feel right, then I need to listen. I think that's smart.
I think that's anxiety.
Well, I think it's that too.
Because what if the Lord, I mean, there's people, I used to have fears of going to meet up with people.
Then, yeah.
They're my friends.
Oh, well, maybe it wasn't the right time for you to go. I don't know.
So you're telling me the Lord is telling you never to get on a plane? Never.
The Lord's giving me knowledge to make a decision, like in free will, and my free will says I'm good right here on the ground. Okay. To me, flying is not worth what it makes me feel. Like, there's nowhere I need to, like, I'm happier at home anyway. So it's like, why? I don't really care to go.
But your husband wants to go places.
He says he will drive. He doesn't care.
Well, he doesn't want to go overseas?
I mean, yeah, he can go.
Without you?
No, I would go. He's fine. He doesn't need to go right now. He's fine. You can ask him. He's totally fine. We can't go anywhere. We have children. We have dogs. Like, there's maybe by the time we can go, I won't care anymore. But I doubt it. All right, let's move on to talking about when we do travel. What do we like to do? Like, what are our preferences? And like, what kind of vibe do we take when we go on a trip?
Well, for me, it's always different. Like I could have, it just depends. If I'm going to go on a hiking situation, it's just all about hiking. It's all about going, everything's hiking adjacent.
So you like themes.
We do that. Yeah. We always like, usually I go like on a hiking trip. There's like a trip that's for partying. That's a trip that's for chilling. There's a trip that is for this particular thing. That's usually, but we never, one of my biggest things that I don't like to do is sit on my ass and do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's not
so
my
you're
thing.
not going on vacations for any relaxing moments. You're going for adventure.
No, I have a vacation for that.
Yeah.
Like last year, it was the cabin trip where we laid on the lawn for 8 hours every day with a fire going. I have a trip especially for that.
Yeah, like that was your peaceful.
Yeah. I have a trip for chilling, and then I have a trip for partying, and then I have a trip for like, it's just different. Like every trip is completely different. Like every trip has a vibe.
And I feel like for the most part, you don't tend to go. I mean, I know you visit New York pretty frequently. I know you have family there though, and obviously Mexico. But outside of those two places, for the most part, I feel like when you're going on an actual vacation, you go to different, like you're trying to see
the world.
You're trying to see
I want to see the entire world. Like I literally want to see every single crevice of the earth, even if it's shitty or ugly or pretty. It doesn't matter. I want to see it all. I don't care if it's cute or safe. None of that. I just want to see it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die at home. The day the Lord decides to take me, it does not matter how I want him to take me. He's gonna. That's the way I see it. That's why I'm not. But when I'm with my kid, I obviously don't do that. When I'm with my kid, I make sure it's safe and all the bullshit, because I'm not going to put her through that. Mm-hmm. You know, when I go with her, I do make sure that I'm staying in a safe place, that everything's going to be safe, that we're going to be in a good place, all that. But when I'm alone, I'll leave with anyone. I'm like, hey, you want to come look at this? Yeah, we do. The fuck we do. Yeah. Yeah. Where's your car?
So I know you do like a lot of traveling with your family. Like, I mean, like your cousins or your sister-in-law, like you kind of take some girls trips. Do you ever see that you might travel by yourself? Is that
oh my God, I want to.
You want to?
Well, I mean, this actually, the wedding that I'm going to, I don't know if I can consider that because I'm going to Washington, D.C.
Well, it's still.
I'm going to be right, my hotel's going to be right next to the White House.
I mean, that's I've
never seen the White House. Have you?
Yeah. No.
I'm going to be going by myself. But I don't know if it's considered traveling alone, because then I'm going to meet up with the people from the wedding. I don't know anybody but the bride. So.
Well, yeah. So you'll still be. I still think that counts as traveling alone.
Okay, I do actually want to save up for a solo vacation where it's a silent retreat and you don't talk for the whole week.
And where do you want that to be?
This one was there's one in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. The best ones are in Costa Rica, but I don't know if I want to go to Costa Rica and not talk.
Yeah.
I'll go to North Carolina and not talk all day.
Yeah.
You know? What about you, Amanda?
So, I mean, for me, if I think about the last,
Amanda loves cruises.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The last 10 plus years, the majority of my trips, not all of them, but like 95% of my trips are on a cruise. I always like going on cruises. I think that it's nice that I can go there and I can like travel to different places and I don't have to worry about how I'm going to get there. Right.
I've never been on a cruise.
You get on the boat when you're supposed to get on. You have the time. Like, I also think because I'm very planned and structured, like you can be spontaneous and go on a cruise and have fun. But there are also some aspects that you have to adhere to a schedule, right? Like they're going to get to a certain port at a certain time and they're going to leave it. So you got to be back on the ship or they will leave you there. I've watched them leave people. Like, you got to go. But they also have like dinner times. Like you can go, there's some place you can go and eat whenever you want. But if you want to go have like your sit down dinner, you got to go at your time because it's busy. So it's like booking a reservation. If you want to go see a show or you want to watch a movie on the deck, Like there's like a schedule. There's like a daily schedule. And there's all these choices. You can do whatever you want or you can do none of it. But at least there's choices and there's things for everyone. I like that I don't have to worry about where am I going to go find food. I mean, there's multiple locations on the ship. I can have a fancy meal. I can have a fast meal. I can just have a slice of pizza as I'm walking to a movie, like whatever. I like that there's a lot of variety on cruises. I think that's why I like it. And obviously it takes you to multiple places. But honestly, I don't really care about getting off the ship, at least in the Caribbean anymore. And I think it's because I've just been to the Caribbean so many times. Like I've already seen all the places. There's nothing there that I want to see anymore. So we want to take a cruise
to Alaska.
Well, whatever.
I do.
It's like, yeah, that's fine. Like my husband would like to go back to Alaska. He's already been when he was younger, but like a northern cruise though, I can't remember where it leaves from. Maybe like Maryland, and you can like go up north. You can go into Canada. You can go to some other countries over there. I don't remember where all it goes anymore, but it would be a cooler weather cruise. And I want to do that. I've never done that. So I do think that would be fun. Obviously, I went out of the country for a while when I was in Costa Rica student teaching, and it was like really nice and beautiful there, and I did like it, but I think I didn't really have like a friend with me. I felt like alone. I guess I did travel alone. I mean,
but at that time we were in a place where like, you know, and like we were like wanted to have a person there all the time and blah 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 blah. I feel like you're different. You're older now.
Yeah, but also I mean, I just mean like a friend. Like I didn't
have that roommate girl.
But I didn't know her before the trip. We became friends out of circumstance. Like we don't really talk anymore.
We're best friends.
Okay.
Me and you became friends out of circumstance. You don't think so?
Well, I guess so.
If we would have never worked together, where the fuck would you and I had met and been best friends?
I don't know. We were in a small town. We had a mutual friend. It's possible it would have happened.
It didn't even happen because of the mutual friend.
But possibly like we wouldn't have known.
It didn't even happen because of the mutual friend.
Well, that's how we sparked a conversation.
No, how I sparked a conversation is by making you come.
No, remember first it was in the break room and I'm like, I think I know you. I have a picture of you on my phone.
Yeah, but that could have been it.
Yeah, that could have been it.
It was circumstance.
Yeah, but I don't know. This was different. Like I feel like me and the roommate I had, like we don't live.
What was her name again?
Well, I'm not saying.
Why? Oh yeah, she still keeps up with your podcast.
She might be listening. I mean, no, I don't have a problem with her, but like we don't even like live in the same area. I think we met up like after the trip one time. We just outside of that trip, we just didn't have like a lot in common. I think like she was a nice person. I didn't have a problem with her. She didn't have a problem with me, but like we were truly friends like in that moment, and it wasn't gonna last forever. But it didn't feel like having like somebody I knew that went with me that was a real friend. So it was just tough, and I was extremely homesick. And I think that's my biggest issue with traveling is I always get homesick. Like I miss my things. And it's weird because this last trip I went on this summer, which was a cruise, and it always happens like this. The first like 2 days I'm fine. It's always like around day three, I'm like, ooh, I want to go home now. I miss my bed. I miss my shower. I miss my bathroom. I miss my water, whatever. Miss my dogs. I like miss my space. I really like having my space. And my therapist and I were talking about that. She's like, well, just when you're on your trip, why don't you think instead of missing it and feeling sad about it, think about being grateful about it. Because a lot of people go to vacations to escape and they don't want to go home. And I'm like, yep, you are right.
I know a person who I went on a vacation with. She vacations hardcore. Anywhere you invite her, the bitch is on it like Donkey Kong. And then on this particular vacation, it was the end of it. And my cousin and I were like, we're kind of ready. And she was like, I'm not. And we were like, okay. So it made us believe that she doesn't have anything to come home to.
Yeah.
And that's why they do go to escape. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I definitely think there's some people who just want to go, like, I think like you just want to go have a nice trip. You want to go explore things. You want an adventure. And some people are like running away for a little bit of time. You know what I mean? Then there's people like me who are like, the idea of it all sounds great. And maybe the first few days are great. And then I'm like, all right, I've had enough. I'm ready to go for sure. So obviously for me, we know I don't like planes, but I don't have a problem with boats. I don't mind a road trip at all. I used to want to be the one driving, but now that I'm married, I like for my husband to drive and I like to read books. So I would definitely choose to travel by car, and then boat would be next for me. What about you?
Everything.
You don't have a preference, or you like all the experiences?
I like all the experiences because when I travel in the car, we stop at really weird places and have really funny stories and like crazy shit happens. And then when I travel on a plane, it's just faster. That's the only thing I like about a plane. It's just faster. That's it. And I've never been on a ship, but I do want to. I actually want to take Renata on a cruise. I think she would really. My daughter loves to travel, but her dad traveled. Her dad makes my traveling look like a fucking joke.
So it's in her genes.
Yeah, she really likes to travel. She doesn't like the getting there part though.
Well, yeah, that time that we went on a little adventure here, she's like, "How long is this car ride gonna be?" I'm like, "Girl, it's just an hour. Calm down."
She does love plane rides, but because on the plane I let her play with her phone.
Okay.
So that's the only, and she gets to have snacks. She loves plane snacks. And she loves watching movies on my phone or playing on my phone. That's the only reason.
So that's just like an extra little part of her adventure. She gets to do things she doesn't get to do.
But she would rather she says that she wishes she could teleport. Like,
girl, same. That would be everything. Well, if you are going to take her on a cruise, they're more expensive, but based on my last cruise I was on, the people I was with my husband's ex-wife and our daughter. It was a graduation trip, and she had recently went with her family on a Disney cruise earlier that year because we were kind of just like all sitting at dinner comparing our cruise experience, right? Like I went on a Virgin Voyages trip earlier in the year, loved it. They went on a Disney trip and they loved it. So, I mean, it's a little pricier, but if you're going to go when she's young enough, apparently the service is good, the food is good, the entertainment's good, but it's more pricey. But if she's still into Disney, maybe that's something you two could do before she decides she's out of Disney. Although some people like Disney forever.
Those are fucking weirdos.
But, you know.
Those are losers.
Oh, Disney's cute.
Disney's cute, but
I'm not obsessed with Disney, but I would still go on a Disney cruise. My husband would rather die.
I would go on a Disney cruise right now with my daughter.
Yeah.
And with you if you asked. But I would out of my own. Oh, no. Honestly, I didn't even grow up with Disney.
Yeah.
I grew up with Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
So
you don't have that connection.
No, I don't.
But I just think there's probably a lot for kids to do. So that's
that would be great for her. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe one day we'll get an update.
Oh, let's see what happens.
All right. Well, let's talk about travel logistics and stressors, because here's where a lot of my anxiety with traveling comes from. But before I tell you about mine, because I have a few things to say here, what about you? When it comes to the
only thing that I get stressed out is I have to, 90% of the time, my ex will watch Renata while I'm gone. But at the odd chance that he won't, then I have to for example, for this wedding that I'm going to, he was supposed to be, it was his weekend, but then he has a work thing. So now I had to find somebody else. So I had to ask my niece, and my niece said yes. And then on top of that, I usually, if I'm traveling and Renata's going to stay with her dad, he will also watch the dog because the dog is his dog too. So that's convenient and great. But for this trip, usually when I went to Mexico, this is for 2 weeks, my cousin, somebody had to watch Shelby. So those are I feel like those are my only stressors. My only stressor is finding somebody and then leaving my daughter, just leaving her, period. And sometimes I do have anxiety about work.
that's what I was going to ask you. Does work, maybe in the past when you weren't working with your family, I didn't know how that changed how you felt about, because I do think people can have anxiety around, I'm going to leave all this behind at work and come back to a bunch of stuff to do. Do you feel, is it like that?
It's that I have a hard time disconnecting from work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still working. I'll still look at the email. Nobody asked me to.
Yeah.
It's just my personality. I'm still looking at the emails. I'm still seeing the updates. If I get a phone call from work, I'll answer it.
You can't turn work mode off, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's it. I feel like those are the only things. But I feel like I only feel those kind of, I feel more stressed out when I leave the country. When I'm here in the U.S., I don't know, for some reason, I'm I'm just 5 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
But when I live to Mexico both times this year, I did feel more stressed because I'm not even near my daughter.
Right.
I'm not even in the same country.
It just doesn't feel as easy to get back if you need to.
Yeah. It doesn't. Even though it's literally a 3-hour plane ride.
Yeah. No, I think that makes sense though.
Yeah. So I feel like those are my only stressors.
Yeah. When I think about, because I'm really trying to think like what happened in my life other than all the things I mentioned that made me not really enjoy travel. Because there was like, I feel like when I was traveling on these cruises with my boyfriend,
but
back when
I feel like you were pretending.
Well, I was gonna say back when I was like in early adult years, right? Like in my early 20s, I still lived at home. So like I had pets, but I obviously they were gonna be with my mom. So that I never worried about it because I knew she was gonna be there. Once I was older and lived on my own and I had to be the adult and find a place for my pets to be, that's when a lot of my travel anxiety came, more so once my dog started having issues. But even before, I used to be like concerned about like leaving them in, like at a boarding place because I'm like, they're gonna be locked up in a cage like most of the day and they're not used to that. And it felt like I felt guilty. I felt very unfair. I know they like don't know how long I'm gone. It's gonna be a blink. They're not even gonna care, but like I care. Like I just felt bad. But even having pets, like at the beginning, when I was with my husband and we would travel before any kids lived with us and we just had pets, I had like reliable pet sitters. Like I had friends or people at least that were acquaintances nearby that would literally come watch my dogs for me, and my dogs weren't having issues then. So I felt good and I felt safe. And I don't remember having anxieties about not being home then at all. But eventually, once my dog started having issues, it just happened to be around the same time my friend that used to watch them moved away. So then it's like I had no one that understood how to like separate my dogs. Even like my mother-in-law, like she would come over here, she'd be holding one, the other one be out, and she almost like put the dog down. I'm like, lady, do you know where we are? We don't do that here. So that's super fun, but that causes me a lot of anxiety because I have to separate them to travel, find them a place to go if I'm going to travel. It just brings up a lot for me. But also now that we've had a kid live with us full time, it's harder to travel as well too, because if he's going with us, we have to only go when he's available and off from school. Or if we're going on our own, like he would have to have somewhere to be.
Now that he's at this age, you wouldn't leave him alone?
No.
Oh my God, my mom started leaving me at
That's fine. He's
12.
wild and untrustworthy. No, he's told way too many lies to be left at home.
At what age?
When he's out of high school.
Are you serious?
100%. I think now my daughter has stayed here during high school and watched the dogs. It's not about age. It's about a case by case. How much responsibility, how much accountability, how much can you be trusted? And he's already way proven that that's a no. That's a big old no. No. Okay. So, but also traveling with kids has not always been a great experience for me. So we've taken the kids on cruises. And during one of them, I guess my son was just at that age where he was I don't think he was in middle school yet, but maybe like almost. I don't know. He was like really rebelling at that time. It was really rough being in a room with him. Actually, we switched him with our daughter. Our daughter was in my husband's parents' room, and we ended up switching them because it was just too much tension. I actually hated that trip, and I remember saying like, I am never going on a trip with him again. Like that's really how I felt. Actually, no, I have been on a trip with him since, but he stayed with my in-laws in their room. It was just really bad. It was really, I think at that time too, I was teaching. I had a lot of work stress, a lot of issues with children being defiant all the time. And then now I'm on a place where I'm supposed to be able to relax and chill. And I have my kid throwing his hat up in the air in the buffet area, like where we were eating.
What's wrong with that?
People are eating. He's like tossing his hat because he's mad. He's like stomping around, like tossing his hat, having a full-on meltdown.
He's a kid.
Yeah, but he was mad just because we wouldn't let him go explore the ship by himself. He was way too young for that.
No, I know, but I feel like at some point we just stopped letting kids. Like I feel like people get shamed on too. Like I've seen people that are like, it's shame. The only reason you don't let them act like that is because you're embarrassed.
I don't want his hat flying in people's food or my food.
No, I understand, but he's a kid.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like we stop kids from being kids. They do weird shit. They do wild shit.
Oh, he's had plenty of tantrums and issues at home and like whatever. It's not about being embarrassed. It's about there is a place and a time that you can't act like a fool.
Place and a time.
He was old enough to know. He wasn't 3. Yeah, that's true when you're like less than 5.
No, I feel like
he was like 10. That's old enough to know that you can't be like that.
I don't know. I just feel like Maybe because my kid doesn't do weird shit. But
yeah, come back to me. I hope you never have to. When I was teaching, I had a lot of stress around traveling, a lot of times because it felt very rushed. Because there were a few times that my daughter and my husband would come pick me up from school. Like, I didn't even get to come home. So I had to make sure everything was packed, everything was squared away before I went to work that day, because we'd be leaving like when a school break was coming up. So we would have to leave on Friday right after school. And because I worked toward the city, which we were going to have to go to anyway, didn't make sense for me to fight traffic and come home just to go back. So it'd always be like a rush to leave. And then I would come back, and like the next day, we'd come back like on a Sunday. The next day I'd have to go back to school. So it's like I didn't feel like I really got like rest. Like it was just like go, go, go. There was never chill.
To me, it's weird because to me that's so exciting.
I mean, I want some go, 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 but like I just feel like I just worked for all these months. I'm finally getting a break, but it's just like nonstop chaos. And then it was like, where was my chill?
Because I feel like that's my favorite part. Like I loved getting picked up like on a half from work, and like when me and my cousin do that. Even when I went to see my grandmother for the last time when she passed this February.
Yeah.
And I had just literally broken up with what's his name. I was still so excited to go on that trip.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
Like I'm always excited to go on a trip. Except for I think when she passed, no. When she actually passed and we went to Mexico, I wasn't. Yeah. But every time, like I feel like that's the fun part for me.
Yeah. I mean, it is like, a break from your day-to-day routines. You get to go have fun. Like, I mean, I get it. I see the appeal.
I just love, I don't know. I just think it's so interesting.
I always think it's a good idea, and I'll have conversations about it. I get real hyped up about it. But once reality sinks in that I'm actually going to do it, I'm normally like, I could just stay home.
I love traveling.
Well, we're curious. How do you feel about traveling? So why don't you go ahead and leave us a comment and let us know.
Oh my God, we're so happy to be back.
Yeah, it's great to be back. Great to catch up with each other. Great to catch up with you.
Please leave comments, subscribe, because we want to know. I mean, I don't need validation. I don't need validation, but I kind of do need validation.
Yeah, if you like
validate me. I have daddy issues. Your reviews and comments help us reach more people like us, like-minded crazy people that need a safe space to be crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Well, next episode is going to be about a very trendy topic right now.
It's my boyfriend, ChatGPT.
But thank you so much for tuning in with us for this first episode of season 2.
Hey besties, if you love the chaos, the laughs, and the real talk, don't forget to hit the follow button. Subscribe, share, and tell your friends, because bitches be cray, and you know you love it. New episodes drop every other Wednesday, so stay tuned and stay cray. Bye, bitches.